Hi, friends, and welcome back to another slow, gentle dive into the pages of forgotten history. Tonight's story takes us to 15th century Florence, where a quiet historian named Benedetto de Fiorenza spent his life not only recording history, but listening for its hidden voice. As Florence blossomed under the Renaissance, Benedetto believed that history lived not just in books, but in emotions, whispers, and moments lost to time. But then, he disappeared. Was it madness, or did he truly find the legendary Chamber of Whispers, where the soul of history is said to echo forever? Join me as we explore his curious life, his secret journals, and a mystery that still lingers beneath the stones of Florence. Let me take you to the candlelit study of a rather peculiar man. His name was Benedetto de Fiorenza, a historian in Florence living during the Renaissance. Not a warrior, not a king, not a famous artist, just a man who spent his life listening, writing, and watching the world change from the corners of dusty libraries and sunlit balconies. But oh, Benedetto saw so much more than most. He was born in the year 1419, in a city where everyone wanted to be a poet, a painter, or a philosopher. The Medici family ruled the banks and the minds of the people. The streets buzzed with ambition. But Benedetto? He was quiet. He was gentle. And he had one gift. He remembered everything. From the age of 7, Benedetto could recall entire conversations word for word. His tutors marveled at him. His mother said he had a mind like a scroll that never ended. He didn't just study history, he absorbed it, lived in it. By the time he was 30, he had filled over 50 journals. But these weren't just dates and facts. No, Benedetto wrote the secret side of history. What people whispered in alleyways after festivals, the doubts a bishop mumbled during a sermon, the tears of a noblewoman mourning a husband lost to politics. He listened, observed, and recorded not what the world showed, but what it truly felt. And one day, he heard a story that changed his life. It was the summer of 1454. Florence was sweating in the sun, and Benedetto was in the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, pretending to admire the dome. But really, he was following a man. A strange man. He wore a blue cloak faded at the edges, and his beard was silver, not with age, but with dust. No one seemed to notice him. No one greeted him. But when he walked, shadows bent around him. Benedetto was drawn in. Curious, cautious, careful. He followed the man to the monastery on the hill, the one abandoned after the fire. And there, beneath a crumbling arch, the man turned. "You're the one who listens," he said. Benedetto, startled, nodded. "I have a story for you," the man whispered, "but it cannot be written in your books. Not yet." What followed was a tale so old, so full of mystery, that Benedetto barely understood it. It spoke of a hidden archive buried beneath Florence, a chamber filled not with scrolls, but echoes. Yes, echoes of history itself. Voices trapped in stone. Whispers from emperors long dead. Arguments from ancient markets. Cries of lovers at midnight. The chamber, the man claimed, recorded emotion, the soul of events. That night, Benedetto couldn't sleep. He paced his study. He flipped through his journals, listening to the scratch of his own pen in his mind, wondering if the man was mad or something else entirely. Over the next 10 years, Benedetto searched for that archive, not with shovels or maps, but by listening, deeply, patiently. He interviewed beggars and monks. He sat in silence in the old basilicas. He followed dreams that felt like memories. He claimed once that a statue in the piazza whispered to him in Latin. Another time, he said he heard his own father's voice echo from the walls of the baptistry, though his father had died 20 years before. People called him eccentric. Some said he had gone mad. But his writings during this period changed. They became more poetic, more sorrowful, more alive. He stopped writing names and dates, and started writing moments. Like the moment a child lets go of his mother's hand at a festival, or the silence before a battle trumpet sounds, or the sound of a book closing for the last time in a dying scholar's hands. He said that history was made not in events, but in feelings, and he wanted to preserve them. And then, one day in 1472, Benedetto vanished. His house was undisturbed. His last journal open on his desk, the ink still wet. The words written? It is not beneath Florence. It is within her, in the cracks, in the sighs of tired streets, in the breath between two prayers. I hear it now. He was never seen again, but some believe, especially quiet historians who still study his work, that he found the chamber, that Benedetto became its final echo, the guardian of all the feelings forgotten by time. And once a year, on the summer solstice, some say that if you stand beneath the cathedral dome, and if you're very, very still, you might hear the scratch of a quill on parchment, and a man's voice, soft and warm, saying, "Remember this. Remember me." So, that's the story of Benedetto de Fiorenza, the 15th century historian who didn't just record history, he felt it, and maybe, just maybe, became a part of it forever. Thanks for listening. Sleep well, or ponder long. History is never quite finished. Until next time.